It's that's why in the future, you know, if we could get there and say, okay, I can fit in a 2-week window like that.
Yeah.
I reckon that'd be good fun. Because Malaysia's not quite as mad as Sri Lanka.
Right. Not anymore.
No.
It used to be.
It's still pretty nutty, but it's not as
It's a bit nutty.
But it's not as nutty. Like, I would have said Malaysia and Sri Lanka were about on par in the early 1980s. But Sri Lanka, of course, has had prolonged war and hasn't had the advancement that Malaysia's had.
No, Malaysia's, well, the last time I was there, which is some time ago now, there are bits of it that have become quite gentrified.
Oh, no.
They look a bit like Singapore.
No, and that's it, actually. The reason I call it second world is not being disparaging, but it's got bits of it that are first world, like Singapore or any well advanced economy.
Yep.
But then the footpath's full of tripping hazards.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So the cars are all over the place, and there's a degree of inconsistency. When you go to Singapore, it's really quite consistent these days.
That's right.
Like Singapore would be one of the most consistent places I've ever been.
They've had a plan.
Yeah.
Make it consistent. In fact, they didn't say that, but they said this is the standard we wish to achieve for everybody here.
Yeah.
And so, over a period of
most probably 40 years now. Over 40 years.
Well, so they get independence in 65.
Yeah.
Right? So, so when I first went there in 1979, so that's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, it was not consistent.
Well, Sambuang was like another world from the city centre.
And if you went down to the other end of the island, there were people on the islands offshore who were in, I think they call them stick villages.
Yeah.
Villages on posts.
Yeah. It's been quite an amazing transformation as a country.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've had strong leadership, effective leadership.
A national vision.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
a national vision.
The people are bought in on what they're doing.
Lee Kuan Yew spent some time making sure that everybody who mattered was involved.
Yeah.
There were some people he didn't like, so he squashed them.
Yeah.
But he did make sure, well, at least he sort of made sure that the Malays, which are probably the bottom in society, got a Guernsey.
Yeah.
He made sure the Chinese were in charge because he remembered what happened when they weren't.
Yeah.
And the other ethnic groups, they got a Guernsey as well.
Yeah.
So who were they?
It's generally Malays, Chinese and Indians in that area.
The English, of course.
Yeah.
Right, so because he gave, when we were there in 1990, it was the 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
He gave the speech in 4 languages.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that he's endeavoured to make sure that the Malays do actually have access to education.
Yeah.
And housing.
Which is interesting because in Malaysia that's not so much the case.
Well, no, they've made sure that the Malay Malaysians are in charge and the Chinese are not.
Yeah, and the Indians definitely are.
And the Indians are definitely not.
Yeah, no. So we were talking to an Indian cab driver in Penang.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about how violent it was towards Indians.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was certainly. I don't know how it works now, but effectively the nobility were outside the law.
Yeah.